everyone. Today we will be talking about the Philippine stocks. Before we start, let me introduce you to our special guest, Mr. Victor L. Vitale of AB Capital Securities, Inc. Mr. Vitale is the President and Chief Executive Officer of AB Capital and Investment Corporation. He has over 20 years of diverse work experience. He is part of various organizations such as Rotary Club West since 2008, Alpha Edutech Solutions, Inc. since 2014, Institute of Corporate Directors since 2017, and Management Association of the Philippines, or MAP, since 2017. He achieved his associate degree in liberal arts at the State University of New York at Cobleskill in 1992 and in 1995. He received his bachelor's degree in Business Administration and Accountancy at the Baruch College, City University of New York. For the Global Strategy Real Estate Inc. side, we will be guided by Mr. Hitoshi Iemura, the Executive Director of GSR Inc. and the Executive Advisor of Philippine Asset Consulting. Mr. Iemura graduated from Keio University's Faculty of Economics. Afterwards, he joined Tokyo Corporation and had been engaged in real estate development and business restructuring in the United States, Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, and many other countries. In addition, the administration and financial management of Tokyo Group's distribution and media division's affiliated companies were all carried out in the corporate planning division for 10 years. Mr. Iemura supported Japanese companies in entering overseas businesses, restructuring and privatization of businesses, and provide advisory services on M&A projects in Japan and cross-border in the consulting firm Accenture and investment fund Mitsubishi UFJ Capital. Mr. Iemura is also implementing and advising investment of Philippine real estate, stock market, and business opportunity. And lastly, consulting for business launch and expansion for Japanese and offshore investors, companies, and funds at GSR and Philippine Asset Consulting since October 2018. So let us move forward with today's interview. Please welcome Mr. Hitoshi Iemura and Mr. Victor Vitale.
皆さんこんにちは、フィリピンアセットコンサルティングの家村です。ですね、今日はですね、スペシャル企画としてですね、フィリピンのですね、大手、証券会社の社長のですね、AB キャピタルのビクター社長をですね、お迎えしまして、このフィリピン株のですね、魅力についてですね、存分にですね、いろいろ聞いていきたいと思いますので、皆さん楽しみにしていてください。Okay, Victor-san, thank you for joining our video content.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Actually, recently in Japan, it is kind of boom. New opener of the stock account is increasing.
Okay.
Now in Japan, yeah. Actually, I think in April, May, June, the number of new opener is triple.
Great to see.
Triple compare with last year. So many people, especially young people, are opening the stock investment account in Japan. So because of the the market is dumped, and many people think now is a good chance to start investment.
What better time?
Yeah. Good timing.
It's a good timing. Yes, I mean, or if I may share also here in the Philippines, there's also been a number of increase in account openings, and also the online volume for AB Capital has increased also.
Okay.
It increased by about maybe 30 to 40% since during the lockdown.
Sorry, okay.
During
in
the lockdown.
Japan 3 times.
So yes. So it's I think here in the Philippines you can see there is a change in shift from the typical brokerage assisted now to online. And you can see there is as I mentioned earlier, there is a increase in volume from the online business because now what better way to do it? They're doing everything, whether it's a millennial or Gen X.
Yes.
They seem like they're trading now on the online platform.
Yeah. So actually, we have many potential clients who wants to start a Philippine stock investment.
Yes.
So that's why we are creating that kind of video content to convey the information about the Philippine Stock Exchange market.
Okay, good.
And I think, and also I always say, okay, it's good for you to start stock investment in Japan, in Tokyo Stock Exchange. It's okay, you can do it, you keep it. But at the same time, you should verify your investment.
Yes.
Meaning, you make your own portfolio. So Japan is a kind of a matured economy. It's stable, but not high growth anymore. So if you want to get higher performance, you select Philippine Stock Exchange market or something. I always say to our audience.
Yes, and it's a perfect timing. You just hit the nail on the head, because once the lockdown happened back in March, the Philippine Stock Exchange went down as low as almost the 4,000 level. But since March, it rallied up to 63%. It's back up to the 6,100 level. So had your clients, or had our clients used our platform, we would been able to take that opportunity. And not to, if I had a crystal ball, I see a correction happening in probably the late part of July, because that's when the second quarter earnings will be coming out.
Okay.
And you can see that most of our listed companies during the lockdown was during the second quarter, so the numbers won't be so rosy. But at the same time, a lot of research analysts are saying that it's already imputed in the price. But I still think there is a correction upcoming soon.
Collection. Okay. Victor-san, can we start a questionnaire?
Sure.
Yeah, I think many Japanese investor wants to hear from you something. So first question. First I want to ask, what are the attractiveness of Philippine Stock Exchange?
Okay, well, there's a number of things actually. As you can see that the economy is expected to be one of the fastest growing in the region, outpacing probably Vietnam and Thailand. The Philippines is also close to reaching the upper middle income status within the next 5 years, because you can see now a lot of the people who are graduating, getting into the workforce, the pay salaries is a lot higher than it was 5 even 7 years ago. And just most recently, we got an investment grade increase to A, I believe it was A minus.
A minus.
By the Japan credit ratings, yes. Which is pretty much the stamp of approval. So there's within the market, there's a lot of exciting things going on, but at the same time, you have this pandemic situation kind of hampering it down. But had the pandemic situation not occur, we were on a steep incline, because you can see our GDP growth was supposed to be at an all-time high. We were, again, as I mentioned, investment grade, and at the same time you can see a lot of foreign flows are coming into the market. So there's a lot of opportunities, but at the same time we just have to be a little bit cautious, because every day something happens, especially now with the pandemic. Yes, but right now the market's kind of trending sideways, because of they're still waiting for the second quarter earnings to come out, and at the same time they're waiting for some positive news regarding this pandemic, because as you just mentioned, in Tokyo or in Japan, our COVID cases have also reached an all-time high. I believe about 2,500 2 days ago, and we are now over 51,000 cases.
I see. And I always say, when I explain the Philippine Stock Exchange, I always say one of so you can correct me. One of the attractiveness of Philippine Stock Exchange market, the number of companies listed is very few, not many, only 270. So you can select.
Yes. You actually kind of how do you say, summarize everything. It's about 200 plus listed companies. We just
only
had
270, right? Yeah.
most of them, probably half of them are active. A lot of them are not so active.
Only half.
Maybe a little bit more than half. Maybe about 70%, 60 to
150
5,
or something.
something like that. And it's mostly the big conglomerates, the blue chips. But we just had a recent IPO, Mary Mart. It's already
Oh, Mary Mart. Yeah, they stopped high 3 days.
it actually hit the 50% ceiling 2 days in a row. Right now, I think it's currently trading at about 3 pesos. The IPO price was at 1. We have another IPO coming up later on, I believe in October.
From now?
Yes, October this year.
Okay.
It's a bigger issue size. It's about 36
Japanese
billion.
people have a big interest for the IPO companies.
Oh yes, Convergys. It's a Convergys ICT. It's a fiber optic company, and they're really coming to the market kind of big. They're coming in at 36 billion. The indicative price is about 28. I think it's 24 to 28 pesos per share. And you know,
So
they've
the
been
for our Japanese client, actually, I think now currently our clients 150 or 160 already open AB capital account.
Okay, great.
So they have a chance to buy the pre-IPO stocks.
Yes, as long as you you know, once we start disseminating the information, the prospectus and whatnot, and we start informing the clients, they should already at the early onset to start applying for the application for the shares, because usually there is a third trading participant allocation. Each broker, we have about 153 brokers more or less that are active, and they get a certain allocation. So the allocation is kind of relatively small.
Allocation.
Yes, we have a small allocation, but the good thing is about this upcoming IPO, the underwriters are BPI, BDO, UBS, and JP Morgan. So I actually have some connections there, so I can probably get a little bigger piece of the pie.
I really want to introduce pre-IPO stocks next time.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I have many questions. How do we buy pre-IPO stocks?
Okay, sure. We can go through that exercise. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And also, some of our clients to open the AB capital account, they are many beginners of investment. Okay. So they don't know which stock is good. It is difficult to judge. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So in that case, I always say, okay, you can buy 10 big holding firms stocks, Ayala, SMBC, and Ropes Group. Mm-hmm. So you can buy everything. But still not so expensive. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 50,000 peso or something like that. Mm-hmm. Even if they buy all the stocks of the holding firms.
Yes, it actually.
Regarding if you are difficult to select, you can just buy 10 holding firm, big holding firm stocks. Is it this kind? But this is okay, correct?
No, that's correct. Actually, if you were to invest 50,000 pesos, you can actually create up a small portfolio made up of the top conglomerates, as you mentioned, Ayala Corporation, GT Capital. But what is a good way to enter the market? The way I've been kind of in introducing to our new clients is that you do kind of a peso cost averaging. Basically, every month you would buy Ayala Corp, 5,000 share or 5,000 pesos worth every month. So at the end of the year, when you look at your portfolio at the end of the year, it's more or less peso cost averaging, because there'll be months that you were able to accumulate more, and there'll be months that you accumulate less, depending on the price of the stock. This is the way. It's like the way I teach to the clients is that you're paying your Meralco bill, you're paying your Glow bill every month, every 15th of the month. So approach it the same way. So you're setting aside funds, and
they split out the timing of the.
Yes, because if everybody is able to time the market, everybody would be a Warren Buffett, right now. But it's hard to predict the market. So what better way just to create an investment plan every month? For example, every 15th of the month, you buy, example, Ayala Corp shares at 800 pesos per share, and every month, there'll be times there'll be 750, there'll be times 810, but you'll be able to average out, and at the end of the year, you should see an increase because you know in the past, I used to show charts. If you were to buy BPI shares, on average, probably grow it. You definitely beat the inflation because that's the name of the game is beating inflation. Because if you buy stocks or if you put it in a TD, you put in a time deposit, and then inflation's at 6%, and you're earning 2%. You're negative 4%. So the name of the game is really beating inflation.
Okay. All right, thank you. And so I want to ask you. Next question is, could you tell me your analysis of the current market situation and the future next second half and next year
Sure.
market?
Well, just like worldwide, I think most of the markets have been battered, more or less. As I mentioned earlier, I think the PSC went down as low as almost 50% in March, and it has rallied now to almost 63% gain. But there's a lot of initiatives going on at the PSC. We're coming out with their first ever REIT, real estate investment. Ayala Land is coming out with it.
Yeah, that is also very.
So that's very interesting because it's more of a dividend play. So investing in the REIT, Ayala Land is the first one to come out. So it's been delayed a bit because of the current situation, but I believe they're coming out. I think later this month. They're going through
this month.
Yes.
Ayala REIT.
Ayala REIT, yes. They're also
how do we our client to buy Ayala REIT?
Okay, so it's treated like also like somewhat like an IPO. There's an allocation, and you would have to fill up your forms. Again, we would get a small allocation, and then we would have to allocate it to our existing clients and our new clients.
This one, Ayala Land REIT will issue this month.
Its indicative timeline is this month. Yes, it was supposed to be launched in May, but since due to the pandemic, it's supposed to come out in the month of July.
Okay.
The news is still pending. I mean, I saw an indicative timeline. I think they're supposed to launch by the end of this month. They're still going through the book building and so forth. So, what's also interesting within the PSC is that if you think about it, there's only about 1% of the population, of the Filipino population, investing in the stock market.
Only 1% Filipino doing the stock investment.
Yeah, so you think about it, if there's 110 million Filipinos in currently the population in the Philippines, only 1% is investing.
Only 1%.
So when I first joined, when I got into the market, when I used to be the president of BPI Securities, it was only 200,000. And that was almost 8 years ago. So now we're almost about 1 million investors. So you could see the potential there. Right now, the volume is heavily dictated by the foreigners and by the local houses. So you generate 5 to 6 billion a day. That's mostly driven by the instis and high net worth. What more when the Filipinos once they get financially educated? What more when all those people start to get into the market, which, as I mentioned earlier, you can see there's a lot more account openings, and the volumes for the online has been increasing. So, as I mentioned earlier, also that you can see that the market is posed to take a rally, because hopefully, once and if there is a vaccine, in the market, it's going to be a worldwide. It'll be a U, not even a U, more of a V curve. So the PSC is also considering doing short selling. That's another outlet. But as I mentioned earlier, it's really the most and upcoming is the REIT, supposed to be coming out this month in July. So there's a lot of activity going on, and the board of the PSC has been very, very, very active.
I think many our clients want to buy IRR REIT because our clients invest real estate as well.
Yes.
So we are selling the real estate in the Philippines. So many our clients invest not only stock but also real estate.
So I think if you're not able to participate in the initial one, you can also get it in the secondary market. So just in case that your allocation is not fulfilled, rest assured you can buy it in the secondary market, and it's not going to be a merry mart where it hit the 50% ceiling in 2 days. It's not going to be like, it's more steady. So you can be able to get it if you're not able to get it you're able to get it in the secondary market.
Yeah, sure. So okay, all right. What do you think about the REIT in the Philippine stock exchange market? It's a good impact for the real estate stock market.
It's probably going to be it's just like, I don't know if you're aware, with First Metro, they came out with their ETF, exchange traded fund, and it's pretty much it duplicates the PSCI index. And for our new clients, if they don't know how to buy or sell or whatnot, the best way to go into the market is buying the ETF. It's the same thing here with the REIT. It's going to take some time before the market actually absorbs and understands it. But it's a pure dividend play. So as long as Ayala is making money in different properties or corporate spaces, you can see that dividend. It's a dividend play.
Okay. I see. Okay. Yeah, I think I think ETF is also easy to invest. So
yes, it's very easy.
Currently, is a very, very limited ETF in Philippine stock exchange.
Well, right now there's only one ETF. First Metro Investment has launched this in 2013, so it's been 7 years in the making. It's doing well, but I think it just needs more more people to look into it, as opposed to just shying away and just trying to buy directly into the stocks. Because the best way to enter the market, if you're not so sure, you invest in the ETF, and then once you get your, how do you say, a better ground, then you could start buying individual stocks or peso cost averaging, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. That is a good for the beginner.
Yes. And I forgot to mention, I to answer your question, I think the PSCI, we're assuming the lockdown has been eased. The house, or our research group, is really targeting to hit to the 6-9 level, coming from a low base. It's assuming that if everything comes back into play, we start opening up the market, the economy starts moving. We're looking at a 6-9 level for this year, which is a 15% growth from where we are currently. For next year, again, it's a little bit early to tell, but there are some houses already making the same calls. We're looking probably at an 8 to 10% increase next year. So that would be
next
about
year?
No, for 2021, conservative.
2021.
So
8 to 10%?
8 to 10 only.
8 to 10. Oh,
8 to 10. So you're looking probably
is this GDP growth?
No. This we're just the market growth. So
market growth.
If we were to look at the PSCI hitting 6,900 this year, so another modest 8 to 10%. So you're probably looking at 7,500 next year. So at the end of 2021, 7,500. Yes.
Next year.
Our house, AB Capital Research Group, is really thinking 6.9 by the end of this year. Coming right now from a base of 62. We're currently 61, 6,200.
I see. Oh, that's a good news. So meaning that now is a good timing to invest, buy at the cheap.
Yes, I mean, well, hopefully, if as I keep telling my new clients is, open up an account, get everything set up, get you're able to create your funding, you're able to fund the accounts, and just read our research material. It's we actually have a daily huddle, and my research analysts come up with trading ideas every day, and usually their calls are pretty spot on. But this is more of a trading idea, which is 3 to 5 days trading, because right now the market, you don't know what will happen. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, especially with this current situation. So these are, we would like to call them punting. Just make small punts. Get 2%, 3%, hopefully, and that's what we're trying to give our clients now, is more trading ideas, short term.
I see. I see. Okay. All right. And okay. Maybe the audience of this video wants to know the more a little bit more specific.
Yes.
So yeah. So I'd like to ask you, what sector from now on, with the situation, the social life is going along with Corona.
Okay.
So in such a circumstances, what sector is going to be good?
Okay. Well, it's a good question that you brought up, Hitoshi-san. It's when you think about it, the Filipino economy here, it's mostly consumer related. Okay, so especially during the lockdown, there was only 2 companies that survived, that showed positive increase in stock price. One was Pure Gold, the other one was PLDT. PLDT, I believe, was up about 30% since lockdown, and I believe
Telecom company. Okay.
Telecom, yes. And then the other one was Pure Gold, which is it's more or less like a high-end supermarket when you think about it. SNR, Pure Gold, and also Junior Pure Gold. So, but Pure Gold only increased about 17%, while the others have been battered. So what I'm just trying to say is that if you were to look at short term, within the next 3 months, 4 months, it's really consumer related stocks. Will it, whether it be Pure Gold, Century Tuna, CNPF, Robinson's Holding, Retail, Robinson Retail.
Robinson Retail, okay.
Robinson's Retail. If you were to look a little bit more long term,
longer term, yeah.
More or less probably be again in the property industry, because again,
property development.
There is a realignment that you can see that's currently going on, but in terms of the condos, there is still a high demand. Okay, but the office space is a little bit a little bit of the gray area, because we don't know what's currently going to happening. Is it going to be more working from home? But in the long term, our house truly believes that the properties industry would be a good place to be in. Another one would probably be like as I mentioned, the defensive stocks, which is power, water.
Defensive stock. Okay, power.
You need power. You need water.
Oh yeah.
So again, if you look at power, it's Meralco, and Meralco has always been giving 3% dividends per year. And you need water. So, and Meralco's been given that extension now. So you can see the Meralco price has been going up.
Meralco is electricity, right? Not electricity company, Meralco.
Meralco and Manila Water. Sorry, Manila Water. Yes, Manila Water.
Manila Water. Okay.
So, I see. So there you can see, property, utilities, and then telco. You can see now that there's been a shift from prepaid now to postpaid. So because I guess the telcos are giving better incentives or better pricings. So you can see now that's why now that there is an increase at the retail level for broadband, as opposed to when you're corporates.
I see.
So I mean, if you were to look at the properties, Ayala Land would be good. Mega World, and then RLC, Robinson's Land. For consumers, as I mentioned earlier, Pure Gold, Century Tuna, Food and Beverage, the San Miguel Food and Beverage, and the Robinson's Retail Holding. For conglomerates, the one I've always been preaching or always been trying to get my clients aware of is Ayala Corp. They've been battered, but they've been diversifying also. As you could probably aware, they've been diversifying. IMI has been coming out now with their, I guess, the ventilators. So you can see that also rolls up under Ayala Corp. GT Capital, I think it's also been battered, being GT Capital, and I think once everything starts to normalize, I think the one that's going to be the first thing to move is the automotive industry, and they're right in there with Toyota.
Okay.
Yes. So for utilities, as I mentioned, would be Meralco. Again, that's more of a dividend play, and then Manila Water. And then for telco, it's really PLDT and then Globe.
PLDT.
So-
Globe. Okay.
So those are the stocks that, again, those are pretty much the top index stocks. But if you look at the charts, they're all been, heavily depressed. But now you can see that hopefully once the second quarter or even the third quarter, once they start to ease the lockdown, these companies are posed to take advantage.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Then my last question. We know the sector who will have a good performance. Later on. For example, even the property sector, there are, I think, 10 or 12 companies in the property sectors. Ayala and SMBC and Rockwell. So in that case, how do we select the company in the?
Okay. It's a good question, and it's for just to make it in layman terms.
Very details.
It's
But my audience really wants to know that.
Okay. In layman terms, or for the new investors, what I always try to tell my clients is, what do you use every day? For example, what do you use every day? You use your cell phones, right? So who is your provider? Globe. Who's your provider? Smart, right? So what do you eat every day? You tend to, for a listed stock, Jollibee. I eat Jolly Chicken. Okay, so buy Jollibee because it's always going to be there, right? So in relation to the real estate market, what properties do you currently buy or currently live in or renting? And it's predominantly Ayala Land, predominantly Mega World, right? So what I always tell my clients is, practice what you preach. So if you use these services, that's what you should be investing in. If you believe in Ayala Land property, then buy Ayala Land stock, right? But there is a new and upcoming listed company. It's called Cebu Landmasters.
Cebu. Oh yeah. I saw this stocks yesterday. Actually.
Yes, they actually they had a
Jumping
huge gain. They were
price,
able
yeah.
to, I think they were able to increase their first quarter earnings, I think, up 49%, if I remember correctly. Cebu Landmasters is predominantly in the south. So in areas that Mega World is not in, and Ayala Land is not in. So they're kind of creating a small niche market for themselves, and they're doing quite well. And the group there used to be, I guess, formerly an Ayala Land executive. So Cebu Landmasters is going to be the, I guess, if you want to say, the stock to look after, because it is going to make a run up. So
so you think Cebu Landmaster is going up more?
I from the 3 peso range, it's now almost at 5, right? So there is some consolidation now happening, but based on their model, and what's been happening, they know the business down in the south. So right now, like I mentioned earlier, Ayala Land and Mega World, their expertise is NCR, within Luzon. So they got that down to a science. But Now it's going down to the south. So where Cebu Landmasters is trying to corner that. So I think that's going to be a good opportunity. If you buy in the 4 peso range, I think that's a good buy. It should be consolidating downward.
Okay, I'm going to buy it.
But
That's good information.
again, it's a it's a judgment call. But I if you look at the numbers, if you look at their financials, it's a good, because they're also quite another thing to look at in the real estate is their land bank. How much property do they have in their books? And Ayala Land is deep, and so is Mega World. So
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Victor. That's all from the question from me.
Okay.
I think it's very, very valuable information we have, and our audience is really happy to hear the valuable information from you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Victor-san. Today.
Thank you very much, and be safe, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, we really appreciate you joined our YouTube channel.
Okay, thank you.
Audience must be happy.
Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
That ends our video for today. Follow us on our social media accounts, and for more videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.